changing gears back to leadership again. So it sounds like the Dave Ramsey leadership program that you went through was very pivotal in your perspective about helping to lead your team and being successful in that regard. Is there anything else that has helped shape your perspective on leadership and helped you guys develop some of your tools in the way you lead your team?
Yeah, great question. I mean, something that I started doing above and beyond just Dave Ramsey was reading a lot more. One of my favorite authors now is Patrick Lencioni. Justin, I think you're a big fan there.
Definitely a big fan.
Yeah. I mean, you built a business right around part of his methodologies, and so for me, it was really opening up my eyes to not look at just this narrow view of this micro business or small business that I'm starting, but how can I really care for each other? How can I care for my team? How can I further support them? Going back to those original years, this was somewhat of a hobby business when I started it. I was 22, 23, didn't really have a larger perspective of what I was going to do with this business. To me, I was creating a place for people to have a job, a short-term job, if that. And going back to my lack thereof leadership skills, more of the boss behind with the whip getting cracked. It was like, hurry up and get it done. I don't care. You want time off, get it done. And if you don't want to get it done, I'll go down the road and find somebody else that will. And so as that changed, I would say a big point to that was, the people I've surrounded myself with and really finding the vision for this company is not a job. We don't have jobs here anymore. We have career paths. We have a place for you to grow. We have a place for you to settle your roots and retire. And now that we have that, I've taken the perspective of, okay, I'm looking at a staff member and I see a 2-year life expectancy I look at a staff member and I see a 30-year life expectancy. I see a 20-year life expectancy. And how are we going to grow, almost like a marriage of sorts as an employee here? How are we going to grow together, bond in unison here to effectively achieve the end result? That end result is providing safety and security to our local communities and through our clients. And it pivoting back is, really wanting that drive, wanting that change for the company and for our team. So
to add to that, I think the team is so critical to choose the right people on your team. And I think in the beginning, a lot of times we were just trying to fill, we needed a position, let's get it filled and move on. And what we discovered along the way was we had to find people with the core values that matched our own, that matched our vision of what we wanted to do. And that those first beginnings were challenging at times. We had a higher rate of turnover. But that since we discovered to get the right people on our team that have the same mission values as us, our team's never flown smoother. And it's a privilege to work along with our staff. It's great. And it's a dynamic change from when we began.
Yeah, the bus analogy is always one that Patrick uses, and what you're describing, it fits perfectly with that. It's like you gotta get the right people on the bus, you gotta get the wrong people off the bus, and you gotta get the right people in the right seats on the bus. And having those core values that are really clear, having that why, having the standards that you set for your team, making them feel like they have a career ahead of them and that you're aligning their strengths to their roles, all those pieces. You build your people, it's going to build your profits, and it's great to hear that you guys have really dialed in and bought into that process of organizational health, creating, success. So well done. That's wonderful to hear, guys.
Yeah, thank you. It's been a process, and on that note, Justin, it's not a set it and forget it. It's a constant maintenance. Yeah, I mean, the moment you take your foot off the gas, you're going to decelerate, and the next thing you know, you could find yourself back in the beginning. And that's something that we had a meeting about recently, of making sure that we're revisiting some of these processes and implementations that we put for culture, for management, for our team, for growth, et cetera, because it is a constant nurture to make sure we have a cohesive ship here. We're all going in the same direction that we want to go.
Yeah, I mean, and one of the ways that's so applicable is like you lose somebody, right? You lose somebody, you add somebody else. Just that concept, that one thing can take your team back into forming again, and you have to start building those, the 5 dysfunctions. You have to overcome those now with the new dynamics of the team, and like got to build the trust. You got to be able to have that safety to have conflict that's healthy, right? All those different things. And it is a process. And if people leaders want to usually just set it up and then we're great, now let's move on to something else. But like you said, that's so wise that it's a maintenance thing. It's a living, breathing thing to keep that culture, that organization really healthy and high performing. So good stuff.